Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. This is Sam Prentice Makes It Happen. I'm Sam Prentice back once again making it happen, and today we are talking very quickly and simply about T3do, which is a little droid that I've been making over the last couple of weeks for Polymaker. Polymaker are actually going to be featuring this at their TCT show in Asia, I believe next month, or it might be the end of this month, depending on when you're watching it, of course. Polymaker, of course, are based out of Shanghai, and they are a filament producer. And I've got to say, the filament that I've been using over the past couple of weeks has just been absolutely phenomenal. So make sure you check out the links in the description, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button if you so feel inclined to do so. So this is the Baddeley T3do Robot, which is a simple droid using very small servos to basically turn the heads and maneuver bits and pieces inside of that. There's a very small battery inside of this as well, and today I'm also going to be using and hopefully showing you the Microzone controller that I picked up on Amazon for around about £40. Now, I have tried other controllers. They've been kind of overcomplicated. This one has the luxury of having dip switches on it, so you can mix certain channels together in order to get that tank drive motion. So this is going to be sent out next week to Polymaker. Obviously, when they get it, they're going to need to know how to use it and things like that. So obviously, this is a video to basically educate them, or if you're thinking of building one of these yourself, then I'll give you the links in the description as well, and hopefully you can follow along. So once you've printed everything out, it's a very simple design. I guess the most challenging part of this is going to be the TPU and actually getting the settings right for that. It is a bit of a pain to print, but as long as you've got a direct drive printer and you're using a decent filament, such as the Polymaker TPU 95 or the TPU 90 that they've got, you won't have too many issues, I assure you. So let's talk about the droid very quickly then in that case. There are two little servos either side, and that drives the tracks, which are these TPU tracks either side, left and right here. There is a USB powered battery here as well, so you can charge that via USB. It puts out around about 4.8 volts. I'll put all the links in the description. This has all been printed with Polymaker Filament. The dome and body here is a mixed filament. So this is PLA, this is PETG, this is PETG, obviously TPU here, and the rest of this stuff is also going to be PETG as well. And the little wheel at the back here is also PETG as well. And it was fabulous, no failures, very easy to print, nice coming out of the nozzle, brilliant. So definitely make sure you check those guys out. Anyway, let's move swiftly on and actually put this thing together, shall we? So, long story short here, guys, this is the receiver, and you also have the transmitter. Once you've wired this up, and again, people like to wire these things up differently, so you know, pick your poison with that. You've got what channels 1 and 2 are left and right here, which are in a mixed formation, which makes it drive like a tank. And then I've got the dome movements as well. So it's very simple. Only four servos that need to go into this. And it's a relatively cheap thing to build, and it takes around about 48 hours to print total. Also, I will point out as well, there's a TPU eye in this as well. If anyone wants to give that a little squeeze, don't, because it's holding with glue. But anyway, so I'm just going to pop this down and pop this together so you guys can follow along. Obviously, this is mainly for the Polymaker guys, just so they understand exactly what I've done here and understand a little bit about the dynamic of the robot. Or, of course, if you're deciding that maybe you want to build one of these yourself, hey, you know what? Make sure you subscribe and we'll show you how to do it. So let's move on to the robot. In order to get access to it, it basically breaks open like this. There's 4 screws, which are Phillips screws that just need to be unplugged. And inside here, you'll see the receiver, the battery, a couple of servos that connects up to these little TPU tracks here, and then cables that actually go into the dome. And on the dome, there are 2 more of these servos. And that basically turns the head left and right and also up and down and gives it that kind of animation. So what we're going to do is just pop this back together, and I'll just show you what I've done here. Let's pop the battery in here and drop this one through here as well, just like that. There we go. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is just putting the receiver, just make sure all these little cables are tucked away nicely. You don't want them going everywhere. What I'm going to do is just move that receiver just into position down here, so it's all packed nicely out of the way. Okay, so all we're going to do is drop that into position here, and you'll see this sort of seats into the back here with 2 screws, and also into the bottom with a single screw there as well. Hopefully you can see that. If you can't, then I do apologise. All we're going to do, very quickly, these are around about 12mm, these screws. They're relatively small. All I'm going to do is just pop this. We'll do the bottom one first, just to hold everything into position. Okay, I'm just going to pop this into the very bottom here, just like that. Again, you don't need to do these too tight. There we we go, that's fun. You don't need to do these too tightly, but as I say, it's important that I think you understand how this all goes together. So that was easy, number one. And I've got two more at the top here, either side. And you shouldn't need to touch anything else at this point. And all the servos are set up and kind of ready to go. I'll talk about the trim settings in a few minutes. So all we're doing here is just screwing that one into the back. That holds him into position. And then finally this screw here. Just like that. There we go. Okay, so here he is. This is T3do, T3do. Relatively simple construction here, guys. All you need to do is turn your radio on, making sure that everything's in the home position. And you'll see behind here there are two cables. All you need to do is plug these cables into one another. Now, if you're going to be charging this, which I'm assuming you will do, all you need to do is plug the USB stick into any laptop or USB charger and plug it straight into this and it will charge. You charge for about 2 hours, disconnect, and he's good to go again. It's quite rapid, the charging, in fact, so it's quite nice you know, to have this kind of small droid. So what happens when you plug him in, he's going to become alive straight away. So here we go. And what you may notice is the trims aren't quite set up for this at the moment. So all you need to do in order to do the trimming, so this is the forward, left and right here. So on that side, there we go, he's settled down now. So if you do find that he has got any kind of movement like he has here, if you move this, you'll see that you've got the trims that are being set up. You can just move these around. There we go. I think we're settled now. So if you do get any rapid movement, or if it does start shifting and moving around, you can use these little pots here and here in order to move those around. So if I push him forward, he should go forward. If I push him back, he goes back, left, right, right, left. The other control here is for the movement of the head. So I want him to look down, I want him to look up, I want him to look left, and I want him to look right. So you get this full motion now of how this robot can really kind of move around. And you know, he is pretty damn good for his size. Let's just move him around here. There we go, up and down. Pushing him down, there we go. And he is a speedy little robot. He's quite impressive, I think. As you can see here, we've got some little twitching on the servo here. So all we need to do for that is just push that forward ever so slightly. Because of the mixing settings, you will get a little bit of lag on this. So one side might move, then the other side might move. But ultimately, you should be good to go. Now, when you do switch him off, I would suggest you don't switch the power off on the controller first. I would suggest that you unplug the droid first. Otherwise, this will happen. But switching it back on again rights himself pretty much straight away. In order to just switch him off, all you need to do is unplug these cables again. Job done, switch it off, done. So let's talk about the controller just for a second. I'll come in close for this one. So let's very quickly talk about the remote control. This is a Microzone remote control that I picked up off Amazon for around about £40. Don't forget, links are in the description. And what I've done here is I've just put the rudder in the upward position. The throttle, I've reversed that. The elevator, I've reversed that. The aileron is up and the mix is in the up position, and the elevon is in the down position. And this is basically, if you're running tank track style systems like we are here, this is important because you want to make sure that channels 1 and 2 are mixing correctly. So when you go forward, they both drive forward, backwards, left and right, and it just works out the way that you want this to run. These aren't used at all. You can put other things on those if you decide to. Possibly if you're feeling adventurous, you can put LEDs or sound or whatever else into that. At this particular point, I haven't done that. Let's turn this back on. So obviously turning him back on again, just push this little button into the upwards position. Let's just plug him straight back in again. And away we go. There we go. He's ready to rock and roll again. So hopefully this has been maybe useful to you guys, but this is where it all happened. Thank you again to Polymaker for sending me a load of their filament to test and try and make stuff with. Obviously, that's the name of the game with this particular channel. Please, if you would want to subscribe and hit that like button, maybe even drop us a comment. I don't mind. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you very soon with the next robot. Take care.